Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel here. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Like and share this with whomever you like. But today we're going to talk about a lot of different things, including but not limited to the benefit of being self-aware and some signs of things that self-aware people do that people who aren't self-aware might not do, or it's less likely for them to do consistently. So being self-aware is the same as being emotionally aware. That is, understanding the connection between emotions and impact on others, and also emotions and impact on self. And the more self-aware a person is, the more easier it is for them to navigate social interaction, because they think about not only the impact of a social interaction on themselves, but the impact on others, and how to maximize every social interaction for maximum benefit for all involved. And so there's 8 or 9 things I want to go over here. The first thing that a self-aware person does is they choose their words very carefully. I am a word stickler. For those that work with me, clients and whatever, I will often, without meaning to, correct what a person says versus what they mean. And this is important because I can say, I'm so fat, and it has one meaning, or I often feel fat has another meaning. So words are super important, and a person who's self-aware understands the impact of their words and also the impact of being properly understood in terms of creating strong communication and the value of such. The next is they enjoy new opportunities. So a self-aware person realizes that life gets boring if you don't have new opportunities. They also realize and recognize that new opportunities create chances to meet new people, and new opportunities create memories that can last a lifetime. So a person who is self-aware understands that doing the same thing over and over and over gives us the same result over and over and over, which we don't often want. So getting involved with new things is important for most self-aware people. The next is they're good with time management. Self-aware people understand that we all have the same amount of time in every given day, every given week, every given month, and every given year. It's what we do with our time that matters. It's not how much time we have. I have often held a philosophy because of my physical limitations, and certainly having a situation where I almost passed away last year, but I've always had this belief since I was a teenager that I'm going to live my life like today's my last day, and the next and also the next day is the most important day of my life. So what that means is today's my last day. So if I was going to make an impact today, what would I do? And if I wake up tomorrow, it's the most important day of my life, what will I do with tomorrow? And that's as far as I look ahead, because the fragility of time is, it's not how much we have. Some people can do a lot in 20 years, some people can do a lot in 90 years, and some people can do nothing in 100 years. It's what we do that matters. But managing to get the most out of every moment is an important part of living well. The next is, do you journal or have some way of documenting your life experiences so that you can go back to them later? Some people do audio journals, some people do written journals, some people will create art or music or other forms of creativity in order to commemorate where they are in life. And this is super valuable because when you want to look back in 10, 15, 20, 50 years, you'll have mementos of where you were. If they're a written journal or an audio journal, you can go back and listen to them. I have a client who wrote a book within the past, 5 years or so, who was keeping audio journals for about 10 years before the book was written, and went back and took things from the audio journals to put the book together. And it was just a really interesting thing to talk to him about. He didn't know it was going to be a book at the time, but he wouldn't have written the book without the journals. So journaling can be super important. The next is patience. A self-aware person has patience. They understand that the world does not revolve around them, The world does not owe them anything. They will get waited on when the time is ideal, and that the process of waiting takes courage and takes wisdom. Now, courage. It's very... Everybody wants to believe they're the most important person in the universe at some point or another. But there's courage in being patient and humble and waiting. And humility is another factor here. So to blend these two things together, yes, you matter. You matter just as much as everyone else does. And yes, you're unique and special. But so is everyone else. And so when we begin to understand that patience is a part of being able to shine as our brightest star, then we can begin to understand that sometimes waiting in line can be a great time to meet a new friend, or waiting at the DMV can be a chance to catch up on reading a book. There's always something we can be doing, especially now with the advent of podcasts and audiobooks and all this. There's no reason that during your no extra time or your net time, you can't be doing something to better your life. And if you're wasting your life with complaining that you wish things would go faster, then you're not practicing effective time management. The next is to own one's own mistakes. Owning mistakes does not mean beating yourself up. It means literally saying, hey, I could have done that better. Hey, I didn't know everything I needed to know about that situation. Hey, I wish I had known. Hey, I should probably study more about. It's the acknowledgement of, I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. I'm perfect for where I am, but there's always ways I can improve. Owning your mistakes is about understanding where you are in relation to the rest of the world, and where you are is in the middle. There's always somebody better. There's always somebody worse. But if you're constantly looking at self-improvement and gaining in your own life, you will be making forward progress. The last thing is you're willing to ask for constructive criticism and feedback. So people who are super sensitive about feedback are only willing to grow so far. They will not grow past a certain point. And usually that point is the upper limitation of what they believe is possible. Some of the best mentors I ever had in my life completely ripped apart my skill as a broadcaster. They ripped apart my skill as an entertainer, and I'm so grateful for it. I wasn't grateful at the time until I reflected a few months later and realized, hey, they were beating me up for a really good reason. And the reason was that they wanted to see the best out of me. They knew that I could be better than I was, but they knew if they gave it to me in a flowery way, I wouldn't listen. So criticism without merit is something totally different. That's bullying. Don't take that. But if someone knows more than you, or someone's done things that you want to do, take their constructive criticism and apply it appropriately. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground and your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.